Hey everyone, this video is going to be a little bit different because June is Pride Month and the month of June is not over yet, so we still got time, but we're going to talk about it. I wanted to collaborate with my friend Jordy for a long time now, and it seemed like this was the perfect occasion because we both happen to be gay males and we both are interested in this topic, so voila, here we are. Jordy is also known as King George because he's a music artist and he does cover songs here on YouTube as well as original songs from his album Rainbow. That should give you a hint. Rainbow is a visual album, so he's got songs and he's also got videos up here on YouTube. I encourage you to check it out. It's really cool. We both had a ton of questions for each other and there's no way we could fit them into one video, so he asked me a bunch of questions and you'll see those over on his channel, but right now you're going to see me asking him questions about the LGBTQ plus community and mental health, and let's get into this.
Thank you, Ryan, for having me on your channel. I love what you do here. I love your quest on humanizing mental health, and I think it's very important that people join you, and so I am very honored to be on your channel.
Do you feel like you can be who you are in society?
Well, yes, I do feel like I can be who I am, but that's just because I've done a lot of internal work in learning to accept myself. And I think I have learned to be myself unapologetically. It has taken going against many people who wanted me to be another way, or people who scoffed at me for being who I am. I can be who I am in society, but it's only because I've worked hard on accepting myself and not letting other people dictate who I am, who I act, or the things I do. So to answer your question, I mean, I feel like I can, but I know that society doesn't fully accept me for who I am. And I'm just at peace with that.
So there's a whole lot of different people in the LGBTQ plus community, but I want to know, when you're walking around, do you see representations of yourself in the media and advertising in your everyday life?
I mean, right now, I think I see more of a good representation than it was maybe 5 years before, which is not that long time ago. And I think that slowly I'm seeing a better representation for myself and for gay people. I think there are more gay characters on television than ever, and because there are more gay characters, they are more diverse. They're not as stereotyped, which is fine because stereotypes are there for a reason. Those people exist too, but I want diversity. I want to see basically all types of gay people represented, and that also goes for the rest of the LGBT community. So to answer your question, I don't see myself fully represented yet, but I think we're getting there.
As you go throughout your day, do you have any worries in the back of your mind that are related to your identity?
Yeah, throughout my day, basically, I have to be aware that I am gay. This is something that many people say, especially straight people or masculine gay guys, which is, oh, you know, my being gay doesn't define me. I'm not always thinking about I'm gay. And that's partially true, but at the same time, I do think that being gay defines our lives a lot. When you're walking on the street and, for example, you see a bunch of male teenagers or male young adults, doesn't matter, there's always that, at least in my case, there's always in the back of my mind going like, are they going to say something to me? Are they, I don't know, it's always that in the back of my head, and that takes a toll on mental health, let me tell you, because just going out in the street doesn't feel as relaxing as it might for a straight person. Yeah, it's not something that I think about every day, but it has been a worry that has often been in the back of my mind.
Have you ever been bullied, and did that affect your mental health?
Yes, I have been bullied during high school. Now I never get bullied. I don't know why. Like, people don't harass me on the street. I am very grateful for that. But it's true that it's ironic. The times during which I struggled the most with my sexuality, and the times during which I wasn't generally out, people weren't sure if I was gay or not, those were the times when I got bullied the most. I even got bullied to the point of getting physical, like somebody actually beat me up once. So it did have a huge effect on my mental health during high school, because I was worried all the time. I was worried that, if I see somebody my age, somebody straight, I mean my age, or, around my age, I wanted to walk across the road and switch to the other sidewalk on the other side, because I wanted to avoid everyone. So, and also I think being bullied and being sort of feeling different also made me not socialize as much. I do think of myself as an introvert, and for many years people perceived me as a loner, and that's mostly because I didn't feel safe mixing with the straight people in my town. And so I think that defined my character in the long term, and it also played a role in my mental health and even my current mental health. Because even though I don't go through these problems anymore, always in the back of my mind there's that sense of not fitting in, feeling like I'm different, like people don't understand me. And I live with that because I've done a lot of mental work, I've done a lot of research, I've done a lot of soul searching too, and that's how I survive and that's how I coped with it. So props to myself for getting through that and living a normal life after going through the bullying experience of high school. Yeah.
Do you think there's enough LGBTQ plus safe spaces in your area?
I don't feel like there are enough LGBT safe spaces in my area at all, just because there are none. Like, zero. Like, the nearest gay bar or the nearest LGBT safe space is in Barcelona, which is like an hour away by car. So needless to say, I do feel like I have nowhere to go where I completely fit in. That's, and that's just talking about nightlife. Like, if I wanted to go out and dance with other gay people, I can go to Barcelona. But if I just want to have a cup of coffee, if I want to just look at some LGBT related books, if I want to, I don't know, just attend maybe a therapy group, or even a club for, I don't know, a book club, I don't know, the possibilities are endless. And even though some of these non-nightlife spaces are available in Barcelona, I still feel like there are not enough spaces like that. So to answer the question, I don't feel like there are enough, and I do feel like they are very important, because it's a place where LGBT people can go to and feel safe, not feel like they don't fit in general, because of course there are several other issues inside the LGBT community with race, cisgenderism, all that. I think they are so important, and I do think that people don't realize the importance of having enough LGBT spaces, but both in quantity and in quality. and also in diversity. So not just places that are focused on having sex, also places where you can just hang out with gay people and I don't know, feel part of a community.
So gay males in particular, we have a lot of different ways that we can identify ourselves by our sexual position, by the way that we look and the groups that we associate with. Do you think that has an effect on our mental health?
Okay, so yes, I do think that affects our mental health, because even though I think it started up as a joke, I think most of the time people use them as a joke. At the end of the day, these terms appear on dating apps, they appear in gay people's vocabulary all the time, and so you do feel a bit put in a box, right? And labels like that, I don't think they're helpful at all. Personally, I don't really adhere to any of those labels, and I don't use any of them. Maybe in the sexual position one, I do use them, but even then, I use it because that's what I like doing most, and I'm not afraid to say that I prefer being passive, I prefer bottoming. But at the same time, if the situation came that I could also top, I wouldn't like close myself to it. So that's basically what I'm saying. It does affect our mental health because we limit ourselves, and we are divided inside our own community, which is already pretty divided and which is already marginalized. I feel like it's also a way to marginalize people inside our own community. You know, we're already so marginalized in general by the people outside our own community. So you would think that for such a marginalized community, we would have learned a thing or two from the experience.
Do you have a message that you would like to leave for an LGBTQ plus person who might be struggling right now?
Sure, a message I would leave for somebody LGBTQ plus who is struggling is basically know who you are, know that you are valid, know that whatever you feel can be wrong, and know that there are people out there who are like you and who struggle the same way that you do, that you're not alone. This isn't just, you're not broken, you're not weird, different, you're not you are normal. You are normal. That's basically my message, is you are normal, and the way that you have to believe that you are normal, the way you're going to accept yourself and just get to that place where it really does get better. That's something that I think people don't realize, is that it does get better, but you have to put in the work, because that was pretty much my case. People always said, oh, it gets better, it gets better. I mean, it did get better, but it didn't get amazing until I started, working on my mental health and accepting myself for who I really am. I heard a very good quote recently that said, it gets better, but first it has to get worse. It does get better, but don't expect things to come to you, because even though it gets better, it's still pretty shitty, and it's up to you to not make it that shitty. Thank you so much for your questions, Ryan, and I hope we can collaborate in the future again. I love your channel, and I feel very honored to be a follower and a fan and a friend. The work you do here is very important, and I feel like we all have to work together to humanize mental health, especially within the LGBTQ plus community. So thank you for having me and for talking about such important issues.
Thank you, Jordy, for giving us your time and for answering these questions that we don't always think about, but do probably affect our mental health and affect us in this community. And maybe some people outside the community don't even know do affect us. So I think it's important that we're talking about it. And I'm glad that you gave us the time to think about it today with you. For everybody watching, don't forget that there's another video over on Jordy's channel where he asks me questions about the LGBTQ+ community and maybe a little bit about our mental health. Before you head over there, please hit subscribe on this channel to get more videos on mental health, and make sure when you do go over there to leave a comment and let him know that you came from my channel, subscribe to his channel, and check out that visual album Rainbow. Thanks for joining us, everyone!